Prince Harry is in London this week for a government-provided security. He wants to get it reinstated.
Yes.
But his dad is not going to see him, the king.
Harry has given a new interview to the BBC after losing his UK police protection case. The court ruling against his claim.
Backstory.
Please.
When Harry and Meghan left the royal family, they had their royal protection taken away.
King Charles hasn't spoken to Prince Harry in over a year. Not a single word since February 2024. The palace claims they're maintaining dignified silence, but are they simply refusing to address Harry's explosive accusations about security removal? When Harry says, "I don't want history to repeat itself," referencing Princess Diana's tragic fate, should we dismiss this as melodrama or acknowledge legitimate fears?
The security entitlements were downgraded due to him being singled out for inferior treatment, upholding instead that it
was a totally not normal situation, and they said, and they were warned, if you leave, you don't get taxpayer protection.
What's really happening behind closed doors as the royal family's public image crumbles under the weight of this beyond repair relationship? Since February 2024, not a single word has passed between King Charles and his son Prince Harry. That's a full year of absolute silence between father and son. The palace spin doctors call this a dignified silence. But we need to ask ourselves what's really happening when a monarch refuses to speak to his own child for such an extended period. Is this truly about maintaining dignity, or is something more calculated at play? Let's look at the timeline of this communication breakdown. The relationship had been deteriorating for years, but the final fracture seems to have occurred after Harry's public statements about his security concerns. Rather than addressing these concerns directly, the palace opted for complete radio silence. No statements, no rebuttals, no acknowledgement. Just a wall of silence that speaks volumes about the royal family's approach to conflict. While palace sources continue to push the narrative of dignified silence, insider reports paint a very different picture. Charles isn't simply staying quiet. He's actively refusing to engage with Harry's security concerns at all. This isn't dignified, it's avoidance. When a son raises legitimate worries about the safety of his wife and children, a father's refusal to even discuss the matter reveals something far more troubling than a commitment to dignity.
was reasonable given that he had abandoned his royal duties and moved to the US. But here he bizarrely claims that he is still entitled.
Not a member of the working family. They said, fine, we're leaving. But now he says he wants it back because he doesn't feel safe.
This approach isn't new for the royals. Look at how they've handled previous family crises. After Diana's death, they initially remained at Balmoral, reluctant to make public statements until public outrage forced their hand. During Prince Andrew's scandal, they employed similar tactics: minimal statements, controlled narratives, and a hope that public attention would eventually move on. This situation with Harry follows the same familiar pattern: crisis management strategy dressed up as royal dignity. What's particularly revealing are the leaked reports about King Charles' private reactions to Harry's BBC interview claims. While maintaining public composure, sources close to the palace described Charles as being privately furious. This contradiction between the composed public face and the angry private reality exposes the performance aspect of royal behaviour. The dignified silence isn't genuine, it's a carefully constructed facade. Prince William has reportedly gone even further, allegedly banning even the mention of Harry's name in his presence. This isn't merely remaining dignified or silent, it's active erasure. When someone prohibits even speaking about a family member, we're witnessing something more extreme than a simple communication breakdown. This suggests a deliberate strategy to excise Harry from the royal narrative entirely, a far cry from the dignified silence the palace presents to the public. The palace communications team has masterfully crafted narratives that position Harry as the aggressor while portraying the royal family as victims. Every statement, leak, or briefing subtly reinforces this dynamic.
I am who I am. I am part of what I'm part of, and I can never escape that. My circumstances will always be the same.
Massive private security guards, and despite the fact that if he tells his family 1 month in advance, they can organize security.
When Harry speaks about his experiences, he's attacking the family. When the royals refuse to respond, they're being dignified. This framing isn't accidental. It's a calculated public relations strategy designed to undermine Harry's credibility while maintaining the monarchy's untouchable image. What's most curious is the palace's refusal to directly address Harry's security claims despite their seriousness. These aren't trivial complaints. They concern the physical safety of a royal-born prince, his American wife, and their young children. The silence on these specific allegations suggests the palace can't easily dismiss them without raising further questions about their actions and responsibilities. Rather than engage with the substance of these claims, they've opted to ignore them entirely. This so-called dignified silence actually serves a very specific purpose. It delegitimizes Harry's concerns while maintaining the family's public image. By refusing to acknowledge his security claims, they implicitly suggest these concerns aren't worthy of response. Meanwhile, they continue to present themselves as the reasonable, mature parties in this conflict. It's not dignity, it's damage control, masquerading as royal composure. The strategy appears effective. The British press largely accepts and amplifies the palace narrative, portraying Harry as petulant and unreasonable while the royal family remains above the fray.
Kinsey just doesn't get it, does he?
I mean, it's unfortunate that it's taken Prince Harry 40 years to learn the definition of...
And also, if he stays on the family grounds, security is encompassed. He does
the word consequences. But it was Princess Diana herself that referred to her youngest son as thick. And here it was on full display.
This coordinated messaging shapes public perception in the UK, though international audiences often view the situation differently. The power of the palace to control this narrative reveals the significant media influence they still wield. But if Harry's security concerns are legitimate enough to cause this level of family rupture, what exactly is he claiming about his family's actions? Why would concerns about security trigger such an extreme response from the monarchy? The complete breakdown suggests something far more serious than simple family disagreements. Harry has repeatedly stated he fears history repeating itself, referencing his mother's fate. And his claims about the withdrawal of security protection raise disturbing questions about the royal family's true priorities when it comes to protecting their own.
Harry said himself in that interview that he has no regrets. He does not regret it at all. He continues to take no accountability for his...
not want that. He wants his cake. He wants to eat it too. He wants to be able to show up whenever, have the security there, all this.
When Harry repeatedly states, "I don't want history to repeat itself," he's making a direct reference to something deeply traumatic: the death of his mother, who died without royal protection. This isn't melodrama or attention-seeking behaviour, it's a legitimate fear based on personal experience. The question remains, is the royal family acknowledging this concern for what it truly is? The evidence suggests they're not. Harry's claims about security removal are specific and concerning. When the royal family stripped his protection, they didn't just remove a personal convenience. They effectively signalled to governments worldwide that Harry, Meghan, and their children aren't worth protecting. This creates a dangerous vacuum where a high-profile family with numerous credible threats suddenly finds themselves vulnerable. The palace position, that Harry should privately fund his own security, misses a crucial point. It's not just about money, but about access to intelligence and coordination with international security forces that only official royal protection provides. The parallels between Harry's current security situation and Diana's circumstances before her death are disturbing. Diana lost her royal protection officers after her divorce from Charles. This left her reliant on private security that lacked the intelligence resources, diplomatic connections, and legal authority of royal protection. We all know the tragic outcome. Harry witnessed firsthand how his mother's reduced security status contributed to her vulnerability. His fear that history might repeat itself isn't paranoia, it's a reasonable concern based on historical precedent. The technical aspects of royal security protocols reveal why their removal creates tangible danger. Royal protection isn't simply bodyguards following family members around. It's an integrated system involving intelligence gathering, threat assessment, coordination with international agencies, and specialised training for high-risk protection.
Court has already denied him.
Oh.
All right. So the Royal Commission, Charles is not the head of this, by the way. This is someone else.
Own destructive actions. This was something that was presented to him at the Sandringham Summit. If you step down, if you leave.
Private security firms, regardless of their quality, lack access to vital intelligence networks and cross-border authority. This gap creates real vulnerabilities that wealthy private citizens cannot easily overcome, especially those facing the level of public attention and potential threats that Harry's family encounters. Since losing royal protection, Harry and Meghan have faced actual security threats. Their California home has experienced multiple security breaches. They've reportedly received credible threats that required police intervention. These aren't hypothetical scenarios. They're documented incidents that contradict the palace narrative suggesting Harry is exaggerating the dangers. The reality is that the Sussex family faces unique threats due to their royal connections, their visibility, and the controversial nature of their exit from royal duties. Looking at how other European royal houses handle security for non-working royals reveals the British approach as unusually harsh. The Swedish, Dutch, and Spanish monarchies all maintain some level of security for royal-born members who step back from official duties, particularly those with children.
Any job, and assuming you are going to still get the perks of that job. But I will say that there have been whispers.
Body decided, no, you still don't get it.
So it wasn't his family, it was the government.
It was. However, Harry has always blamed his father.
This comparison exposes the British royal family's approach as punitive rather than practical, suggesting the security removal was more about control than resource allocation. What's particularly revealing is how William and Kate are reportedly raising their children differently to prevent another spare situation with Prince Louis. They're prioritising family time, including regular school days and nightly dinners, to foster normality and equality among their children. This approach represents a tacit acknowledgement of Harry's grievances. By actively working to prevent Prince Louis from experiencing the same spare dynamic that Harry described, William and Kate implicitly validate Harry's complaints about his upbringing and treatment within the family system. The royal response to Harry's security concerns stands in stark contrast to their stated values of family protection. The monarchy repeatedly emphasises the importance of family unity and safety, yet their actions regarding Harry's security suggest these values have limitations. When faced with a family member who challenges the institution, even legitimate concerns about physical safety become negotiable. This contradiction exposes the conditional nature of the family's protective instincts. They extend only as far as institutional interests allow. The family's refusal to address Harry's security concerns, while simultaneously changing how they raise the next generation, reveals something significant. It's an unspoken admission that Harry's complaints have merit. They're implementing changes to prevent similar issues with Prince Louis, without ever acknowledging the validity of Harry's experiences. This approach allows them to correct course without admitting fault, an institutional response rather than a familial one.
No, keep in mind, this is not the first time Harry has claimed to the media that his father cut him off. Meghan claims Prince Harry lost his father.
King, you can get it for me. And Charles is like, no, I can't overstep my boundaries. So then Harry sued to get it back.
Harry has been desperately trying to connect with his father and brother through old friends and retired courtiers. Neither have taken the bait.
So with relationships described as beyond repair and legitimate security concerns remaining unaddressed, what does this reveal about the true nature of the modern monarchy? It shows an institution that prioritises its image and continuity over individual well-being, even when those individuals are family members. It demonstrates how the monarchy's survival instinct can override even basic family obligations like ensuring the safety of children and grandchildren. Most troublingly, it reveals how the institution's public narrative of family values can diverge dramatically from its private treatment of family members who step outside approved boundaries. The royal family's treatment of Harry reveals a pattern more troubling than mere family discord. They've chosen to maintain their carefully crafted public image, rather than address legitimate concerns about safety and dysfunctional family dynamics. The fact that the king has not spoken to Harry since February 2024 speaks volumes about priorities. This relationship, described as beyond repair, serves as a case study in institutional self-preservation. the monarchy protects itself at the expense of individuals, even when those individuals share their blood. As public scrutiny intensifies, their handling of Harry's situation may become the very thing that undermines their future stability and relevance in a rapidly changing world.